Hello everyone, Don back with the next progress report on my Corsair. Alright, last time you saw me I was working on the oil tank and a few other things, and finally got that all tied down now. The last thing I mentioned was having to make another bung to attach a fitting for the fresh air. So I got a 1/2 inch or a 1/4 inch pipe to a 1/2 inch hose running down and out the bottom of the plane. So after the cowling's on, I'll cut this to size. But the tank's in and done. Got the PCV valve vent hooked into it. It's filled with oil. See where it's at. I did manage to crank on it till it finally got oil pressure, so it's feeding from the tank. I checked the tank. Yeah, it's down a couple inches, so it was going to take some oil just to fill the filter and the galleys and everything, and then get up to where the pressure sensor was, finally see pressure. And then without the plugs in it, I'm not getting any crankcase blow by, so the oil is just going to kind of accumulate in the bottom of this engine block without any pressure to blow it back up in. So I don't want to crank on it too much, but while it was cranking to get that up to pressure, all my lights were working. So my ignition coils and fuel injector circuits were firing again. So the only thing left to do now is hook up this hose to this map sensor here. This little black gizmo is the map sensor. Pressure sensor's got to come from all the way up through here and out and hook into intake somewhere. So I went and bought some of that hose I was talking about. Turns out it was only a 3-foot piece, and it's not going to be long enough. I need more than 3 foot to go from here all the way back to there. It's not quite 4 feet, but at least 4 foot is what I need. And then a little 3-foot piece, it was only an 1/8 inch hose. It was $10 for that thing, so I'm going to take it back. It's still in the package. I didn't even open it. First I saw it was only 3 feet. I was like, So I got home and I got the tape measure out. I was like, nope, it's not going to work. So, and I did get the tap, and I did put my coolant temp sending unit in there for the computer. Just got a little tie wrap holding the wires out of the way because I wanted to crank on this. But I took that sensor yesterday morning in the house and I hooked it up to my little, I got a box that's a temperature controlled unit, and it uses a little coffee cup heating element. It's a 110, you just plug it into an outlet and you stick it in your coffee to heat up water for a coffee cup. I used it for anodizing purposes, for zinc plating, not zinc, but nickel plating. You had to heat the solution up to 100 and some degrees. So I use that, and it's got a controller. I can set the temperature and it gives you a readout. You can do heat or cooling. So you set it to temperature, and then I put a ohm reader, my voltmeter, ohms resistance on the sensor, and at every 25 degrees I threw some ice water in it first, got it down to like 60, 65 degrees, and then I went like every 25 degrees, and the unit only went to 194 degrees, so I was able to get some readings. But I need three good readings of resistance values at what temperature to put in the program for the computer so it can read the temperature accurately, and then that's going to also help adjust the timing. The timing is based on RPM and temperature. So I got that done. And that's got a copper crushed gasket underneath it to seal that. I got the coolant system all finished up also. I got my bolts and everything in, the new bolts for the propeller, the nuts, the Adel clamps, and some more Adel clamps. I still have some clamping to do on the hoses. I got these hoses fixed, so I'll got to Adel these two together and then back in there with this red hose. But I got, so you can see, I got the big Adel clamp with a standoff going right to the firewall, so that's good and done. And it's full. Cranked her over and it went down. I filled it, so I still have, I still got some left in here. Oh, probably over 1/2 gallon. Now, you gotta remember the radiators probably still had some coolant in it because they could only drain when they were about up to here, so there was still fluid in those. The fluid's all fresh, but I bought 1 gallon of straight antifreeze and 1 gallon of distilled water this morning and mixed it up and filled it up till it stopped. When this thing was full of oil, it was within 1 inch of the top, but after cranking it and finally getting oil into the filter and passageways, it dropped about a good inch. And then I cranked it again. I had to throw the charger on the battery, from the long cranking to finally see the pressure. And it's all bolted to the firewall. So it's all done. It's ready to start. All I got left to do is put the plugs in it, the fuel tank, and today I worked on the fuel tank. But anyway, and I got the hose fitting on here. I ended up using another piece of hose that was already short enough. I took the end off the one, put it on the hose, and then put the new one on there. So I still have a hose with one end on it, and I still have one more straight end I can put back on it if I need that hose for anything. So this is again the mixture control cable. You'd seen I got the plate to make that. I did find a piece of like 1/8" plate to make the top of the cover for the air filter, but everything in here is finished now, other than putting some clamps on these hoses and keep them from chafing on the oil tank and the likes. So and then this morning I dug and dug through my files until I finally found the program for this thing. Now, this is the one that's real thin on that edge, and it's thick there. And then it had them holes in it, you know, set of holes. I can see a set there, a couple there, set there, set there. So there's, you know, 4, 8, 12, at least 15, 16 holes in that plate. So, voila, there we are. We're done. I finished making that today. Got it all cut out, got the fitting put in there. Before I put this down, I hooked the tank up to the airplane, turned the power on, and then I reached in and flipped the sending unit to full, because it never read completely full when it was full, and it would read lower than empty, I think. So what I needed to do is get in there and bend it to get it more accurate. So I went in there and tweaked it, and now it's just above empty when the float is hitting the bottom of the tank, and then when it's full, it's shy of hitting full. So there's a sweep in there where it needs either a slightly longer arm to have more travel up into the deepest part of the tank, but it's good now, and I'm happy with it. It's closer. And then the last screw, as I'm putting this thing in, wouldn't tighten, so that screw's stripped. So what I got to do is, these are 1032s. I got to go get me a 1228 tap. I'm just going to tap it oversized and put a dash 12, number 12 with 28 thread screw in there to fix that up. And I put still has the cork gasket in there, and then I put some RTV on that and sealed that up. So that's ready to go on. That was the only thing keeping me from putting this thing on and putting gas in it and trying to start it. So got to wait till tomorrow. Plus, it's so damn hot and humid out here today. It's unbelievable. There's the old fuel pressure sending unit for the fuel injection. There's the turnbuckles that held the fuel tank in that I won't be using anymore. So none of this stuff gets used. None of it. And this don't get used. It's garbage. So I dug out. I got another piece of, this is just big enough from where I cut these notches out. From here to here is 12 inches. Cut there, and I'm going to make a new muffler. And I found a piece of 2-inch tubing on this little gizmo I was making here. I can cut off of there to make the inlet for it. And then I found some piece of stainless. I did get an oil filter. People are going to be upset that I used a Fram, but that's about all you can buy around here anymore without paying 20 bucks for a filter. Fram's fine, there's nothing wrong. People just see a lot of stories on the internet how bad and terrible Fram is, and they offer 3 different ones. But this is big enough to make the new end caps for the muffler. Like I said, pull the guts out of the other one. Enough of that. It's not even hooked up to anything. Well, maybe this. But anyway, I was hoping to get into this, cut this up, and get it ready. But right now, as soon as I get that hull rethreaded and screw in it, I can put that in, just set it into plane, hook up the line, throw some fuel in it, put the plugs in it, and turn the pump on and prime it all up, and then see if the thing will fire. So tomorrow for sure I will test fire this thing, and if all goes well, I'll make a quick video of that. And then once it runs, then I'll go ahead and I'll start, like I said, I can just leave this right here and run it just like this. See how it sounds without the pipes on it, but it'll give me an idea what it's going to sound like. But that piece 2 inches for right here, but I'm going to shorten it all up so that muffler comes clear up like here now instead of down here. I want to tuck it up in a little tighter so I can take some of that frontal area out right here. Slide it back just a little bit, and then I'll put the new holes down here, straight out the bottom, and the can stay completely round. So the ignition system, everything's ready to go. And hopefully I've got all these coils triggering at the correct time for each spark plug. So I think that's about all I managed to do, but I got a lot done. Like I said, the coolant's filled, oil's filled. Oh, and I threw a piece of hose on here real quick and used my sight glass plug, fit in there nice and tight. So that'll seal up the block so I can get some pressure to force that oil back up into the tank. So that'll be the first thing to check once I get it fired up. And then the next thing will be to adjust the mixture screw to make it idle smoothly if it doesn't, and then adjust the throttle stop on the link throttle here to keep it idle, you know, to get it down to a decent idle. I'll probably have to set it for at least 1,000 RPM without the prop on it, and then once the prop's on there, I'll probably pull it down a little bit. But you can't let this run. There's one little zone in there where the engine's going at the right speed, that the propeller is going forward from the impulse, and then it bounces back, and it's the gear backlash in there. There's a little bit of backlash. You can't feel it here, but there's a little backlash in there, and it causes what they call prop slap. And you'll hear it as a brrr, it just rows, brrr, shakes real bad until you touch the throttle, then it smooths right out. Because the compression stroke is flinging the prop forward till it hits the backlash, and it hits and bounces back, and then the next power stroke hits, and it just does this oscillation. And at a real, you know, it's between 900, 1,000 RPM it wants to do that. So, but this thing could idle down fairly low, but you'll hear that gearbox prop slap. So, I think everything is ready to go. Just short of, you know, putting in the fuel. This might be a little long. I may have to turn it sideways to hook it up, because I tried hooking it up before to see what I was going to do, and the sensor, or the elbow, is like back here, so this is probably just a little long. I want to keep it long enough so you can pull the tank up so you can do this. So the fitting's pointing straight forward. I can probably turn it a little more so it's at a slight 45 to hook up, and then the gauge here, this is for the gauge fuel sending unit. It comes out underneath, but I flipped it up here so I could prop the tank up, get my arm up in there, and play with the float. So, alright, I think that's all I got going on. Again, probably not going to be able to see much under here, but all the oil lines are good, nothing's leaking, everything's dry, oil filter, everything's fine. There's the feed line into the fuel pump, and this is the drain out back up into the tank. Fuel drain there, and then this is the fresh air vent. So that'll be, I could probably bring this down into here and put an A-dell on it and tie it onto one of these screws, you know, kind of like this is screwed through a fitting on there, but before it was hooked up to one of these screws. Or I could do the same, but it's got to kind of come over here anyway to clear if the exhaust pipe's going to go out through there. The easiest thing to do would be to run them right straight down here, right straight out the cowling. If you do it right, you wouldn't really notice it much. Nothing more is done with cowling. Just spend all my time tidying this up. So, alright, I guess we're going to keep this one short. I've had the fan on, and it stayed pretty decent out here all day, but just as I was finishing up with that fuel tank, the sweat was just running off me. I had to give up. All the hardware stores are closed where I go find a tap, so it's going to have to wait till morning. And then I got to take that hose back and buy some different hose to make it fit for that, some longer hose. Buy it by the foot, I suppose. Alright everybody, I guess that's going to do her. Here's the oil pressure gauge. I had to crank till I finally saw that. The fuel level is over here, and I had to watch that when I played with the thing, but everything's working good. Tail light's not on. Even my mains aren't on. That's weird. They should be green. For some reason they're not. Okay. I'll delve into that when I get to that. So, alright everybody, that's going to do it for this one. If I get this thing ready to fire up tomorrow, I'll make another video tomorrow. I'll get it started, and then if it seems like it's okay, then I'll do a video tomorrow to show that it's up and running. and then from there I'll start right on that muffler, get that remade, and then I'll get onto that cowling, get that fitted. The cables for the battery are just tied together. This one's not bad here. This one's not going to be too bad. Just going to have to redo these because the battery's up here, so I got to make the battery tray. I got to design this, so I'm going to get the measurements tonight so I can draw this up and get that cut out of that 1/4 inch plate. So I get that going. That plate on that tank took me about an hour and a half from the time I had to go over there and start cleaning up my mess from before. Clean it all up, reattach everything to the table, get the plate bolted down, get the program modified, and run it. I probably spent an hour and a half cutting out that one plate. So it went from 1/4 inch thick to 1/8 inch thick. Okay, I guess that's going to do her, and I will probably see you again tomorrow if this thing runs. If not, it'll be Tuesday night. Either way, I'll have one up tomorrow or Tuesday. Maybe both. Alright everyone, as always, appreciate you taking time to watch my videos. Feel free to leave any comments, questions, concerns, and I will see you guys again tomorrow or Tuesday. Keep your fingers crossed and you may see and hear this thing run tomorrow. Alright guys, that's it. I'll see you guys then, and that's going to do it for now. So this is Down and Done out.